So yeah, Oliver died. Everybody was really sad. Even I was sad, even though I'm not the biggest Arrow fan. And then he kept coming back. Yeah. And that's why I don't like that guy. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach to Nerd. And in this episode, I am giving you the top 5 things that have been bugging me about the Arrowverse CW Crisis on Infinite Earths miniseries so far. I guess one of the major things right now is that they split it so far apart. I know they wanted to do their mid-season finale, give us a break for the holidays, for Christmas break. But yeah, 5 hours. I think the last episode is going to be split into 2, maybe part 1, part 2 of whoever's show it's going to be aired on. It aired originally starting on my birthday, December 8th. It closes out on my mother's birthday, January 14th, which is kind of funny. But there's a lot of things about it that annoy me. Some of it's like, I don't want to sound like I don't enjoy it. I love comics. I've read comics for like 37, 38 years. I'm telling my age here. And I love that they actually have been ambitious enough to do this, series on such a momentous level. Because, I mean, in a way, they're kind of competing with Endgame. I mean, these are a lot of characters to incorporate in 5 hours. So, which I guess maybe it might be 6 at this point. I don't know. But there are some things that I just cannot wrap my head around, and they just don't make sense to me. Now, I've read the original Crisis on Infinite Earth miniseries many times. I own the entire thing, like all of the issues, even the side stories in various comics I have. I'm not comparing this to the comics. I'm not. Because you can't. It's not the same story. If it was the same story, we would not have Flash and Supergirl, because we know that the two of them were major casualties in the original series, and obviously that's not going to happen in the Arrowverse, or else we wouldn't have the Flash and Supergirl TV shows anymore. So it's a no-brainer. They're safe. Batwoman is safe. As long as they're renewed, they're not dying. So there was never a worry in my head that Barry Allen was going to die. So the whole reveal that, it was actually another version of him. It was the Earth 38 or 37, 39, one of them. I know it was not going to be the Barry Allen of the Arrowverse. So anyway, let's start with what annoys me. So Harbinger's picking up all of these people that are going to be so beneficial to helping save the world. Argo City, Clark Kent is saved. Lois Lane is saved. And baby Jonathan was able to escape. But Allura wasn't saved? So let me get this straight. You would rather have Lois Lane, who is a reporter, very, very smart, but what can she do in crisis? Versus another Kryptonian? That is stupid. And this is when I realized they weren't actually trying to save anyone. I love Iris. I'm not one of these people that's going to hate on the human characters or put these like unrealistic expectations on these people, on these characters. Yes, some of her writing has suffered in Flash, but I mean, I can say that for every female character in the CW as a whole, not just comic books and Arrowverse. But I guess what I'm trying to say is you save Iris, you save all of these really smart women, but they can't go out and fight. So why did you limit your numbers to a couple of metahumans and then splash a bunch of humans in? That, yes, I mean, there is something that they can do, but when we're talking about destruction of the whole cosmos, the reality as we know it, past, present, future, gone, worlds destroyed, and you only have a handful of humans? I mean, Arrowverse Superman was getting his butt handed to him by Earth 96, Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman, which is, that's he is the strongest Superman. So, I mean, yeah. But still, it's like, why? Why he got the strong Superman, and then at the end, Lex Luthor basically wrote him out of the picture. So Lex took his place, another human. And it's like, oh my gosh, what is happening in this freaking show? So I don't understand the choices, I guess is what I'm saying. There are so many metahumans, like Black Lightning's daughters, Jennifer and Anissa, were wiped out. Well, technically, okay, Jennifer was not wiped out of existence. So she was kind of already in parallel worlds, which makes no sense because she was in Earth 1 and Earth 2 simultaneously, but Earth 2 should have been destroyed in the premiere episode of Arrow this season. So how is she in Earth 2? If Crisis is already starting, there should not have been an Earth 2. Makes no sense. So that in itself, plot hole, makes no sense. And then the fact that she was like particles, she didn't even have a physical form as they were being wiped, the wave was coming and wiping out Lynn and Gamby and Nisa. That just goes on, goes on to show you that they really didn't plan out the Black Lightning inclusion like they should have. Yes, Jefferson is extremely strong, but Jennifer, even in the comic books, she's stronger than her dad. So that makes no sense. Anissa's got very cool powers. You cannot tell me that Thunder is not going to be better than Lois Lane and Iris as someone to save to help with Crisis. It doesn't make sense. They may as well not have had Black Lightning in it at all. He was underutilized. They used him for 5 minutes, had an emotional connection about death and acceptance, and then he dies. And it's like, why were you here? Why were you here? So I'm a little annoyed at the choices they're making on the people they're choosing to save. They're going to help bring back, or undo all of the wiping out that Andy Monitor is doing. So yeah, very annoyed by that. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm annoyed at, or that's be number 2. So number 3 is, I guess, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but the cameos. We get built up on these guest stars. And I knew Burt Ward and, Robert Knox and all these characters from Batman's universe and, seeing the Titans, which wasn't even a film scene. It was actually a scene they used from Titans. I believe it was season 1. That was just like a flashback. They just incorporated into Crisis. They pumped up all of these people to have them on screen for like 5 seconds. Like even Helena should not have been, Birds of Prey in general, she should not have gone down that easily, that quickly. She literally had, 2-3 lines talking to Watchtower. I don't know. Barbara Gordon probably had 1 line in it as well, and I don't even know if it was actually her. It could have been a voiceover. It was too quick. We're so excited to see her. If you've ever watched the TV show Birds of Prey, I actually enjoyed the television series. I was actually sad when they canceled it. I think it was a really smart concept for the time. So I don't like the fact that it didn't have more seasons. I do know that Alice in Batwoman actually doubled in her role in Birds of Prey because she played the daughter of Dinah, basically Black Canary. And there's no way, I guess there was no way to incorporate all of them together. Maybe the actress that played Barbara didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know. But that irritated me. It was like, oh, you're going to give us like 5 seconds. It was very strange. So yeah, so that kind of bothered me a lot in this season. And number 4 is about Oliver. Why do you kill Oliver at the end of episode 1 just to bring him back with no soul, because it didn't make sense. The only good thing that came out of them trying to get him out of purgatory to find his soul was when they actually went to Earth 666 and saw Lucifer, and then you see that Lucifer and Constantine knew each other. Apparently Constantine did a favor for Maze, and that's why, Lucifer is helping him, but that was hilarious. That entire interaction was hilarious. So I did like that. But everything after that, even down to them getting Oliver's soul back and him choosing to stay, which we know who he becomes. But it's just the principle of the matter. It's just all of these little connections. You build us up to lose Oliver Queen, the start of the Arrowverse, which technically Smallville started off that whole train, but that's fine. But the pivotal Arrowverse universe character, Arrow himself, he dies. He has a hero's death, but then you keep bringing him back like he's freaking Bebe's kid. It is so frustrating. So, yeah, I'm pretty annoyed at that entire prospect right there. And so far we've got like the fact that the cameos sucked. Black Lightning's own corporation, sucked. Who they chose, Harbinger went and got, sucked. Just the timeline itself, I mean, it's just sucks. I'm like, there's so much about this that's really bothering me. But overall, I kind of feel like they're kind of working with what they have. They incorporated a lot of characters that I've always wanted to see, like Kevin Conroy as Batman. His voice has been Batman forever, since the 90s, a Batman animated series. As a voice actor, you do not work in voiceovers and not know who Kevin Conroy is. So, yeah. I love the fact that he finally got to play a live action iteration of the character, but I so was hoping that he would have been Batman. No, they would have been Batman Beyond. It would have been a reference. He would have had a Terry. That would have been awesome to incorporate that. I mean, we have all of these Earths, past, present, future. Why could we not have had Batman Beyond? I don't get why he can never have a live action, version of this character. And then Kevin Conroy would have been perfect as Bruce Wayne, who's in the wheelchair. But no, they didn't do it. That is my number one problem, is the missed opportunities. Like, even Diggle. Diggle had a small role. I thought he would have lost his mind a little bit more over Oliver dying, but I mean, his wife's gone. I mean, everything's going to crap. But I guess my question is where is our John Stewart, our Green freaking Lantern? They have been teasing us with this for years, even to the point where I did a video about Crisis with another YouTube content creator named Blurred Without Fear. Hopefully that will be up soon and you can check it out, and I'll link his channel below. And we talked about this because we both remember that Diggle's last name is not actually Diggle, and that he has a relative whose name's Stewart. Last name is Stewart. So, there's a lot of similarities. Yes, Diggle was in the army, and technically, traditionally, John Stewart was a Marine, I believe. But they have so many things that actually parallel in their lives that it doesn't matter. Another version of Diggle on another Earth could have been John Stewart. And I'm so flipping annoyed that they have not done this. I'm hoping in the last 2 episodes it happens, but it's like, this is such a freaking huge opportunity. Why are you not taking advantage of this? So yeah, that's kind of annoying for me too. So yeah. And I know this is turning into kind of a rant video, but I mean, it's just so frustrating. There's so many things they could have done, and the stuff that they did do is just questionable. I don't get, any of the choices that they've made. And a majority of them anyway, in Crisis. I just don't. Like, pivotal characters in the Arrow universe with amazing abilities that could have maybe, I don't know, stopped, Anti-Monitor sooner. We're not even chosen. They just die off. So it's like, it's a CW formula. They just got to draw it out. And I mean, I guess you can't draw it out with the most awesome people. So it's frustrating. But I will tell you some things that I did like, kinda. I mean, I am upset only because of one aspect. I love Smallville. I especially loved it from season 7 on, when they changed writers. But, so Clark Kent, which they named, I think it was Earth 167, I believe it was. I'm trying to remember in my head. It has to be, because Earth 167 in the comic books is when Lex Luthor was actually Superman. And I believe Clark was Batman. It's been a long time since I researched that and read it. I have 2 of the comics, but I don't remember the entire storyline. But I do know that it's the one reality where Batman and Superman were reversed. So Clark Kent was Batman and Lex Luthor was Superman. And what's so interesting about that is that Lex is coming to that Earth to basically bump off Clark Kent, and Clark Kent has given up his powers. So that's ironic to me. Also, the fact that he gave his powers up is also questionable to me, because if you remember in Smallville, and I can't remember what season it was, but he had a prophecy given to him that Lex Luthor would become president of the United States, and it would lead to the Armageddon. And even in the scene where Clark is saying, oh, the president is in town, meaning Lex is already president at this point, he just kind of, gave his powers up to have kids with Lois, leaving the world completely vulnerable because now they don't have a Superman. So, like, they are destined to be screwed. So it's just really weird that he didn't think about that, It's strange. In this version of Smallville, Clark Kent was more concerned with his own happiness than he was with the fate of the world. And that's something that's strange, because that wasn't who his character was in the series. So I did have a problem with that. I like that he got to be happy with Lois. I've always loved Erica Durance's version of Lois. I actually love her Lois more than all of the others. Something about this season and Bitsy. I liked her in Grimm. She's okay, but just sometimes she just kind of, I don't know. She reminds me more of Lana Lang than she does Lois Lane. But, you know, so does Amy Adams in the Superman Man of Steel movies or whatever. So, or DC Universe's movies, DC Extended Universe. But, yeah, it's just the whole thing with Smallville. I mean, it was funny. It was extremely funny. The dialogue, the banter, it was funny. It's just weird. It's not something, even if you read the Smallville comic spin-off from the series, this is not the Clark that we know from these comics or the TV show. So yeah, it's very weird. This is more of a Tom Welling instead of a Clark Kent, if that makes sense. So yeah. Yeah, I'm ranting a lot. But yeah, I do, like I said, there were a lot of good moments in the series. We got to see a lot of funny moments, like Rory with Jonathan Kent was hysterical, being the only one that can stop the baby from crying. That was cute. So many banners, with Ray actually asking Kingdom Come Superman if he has gluten allergies was kind of funny. It's just stuff like that. It's just that there's so many things that I got a question mark on. It's like, why did you do this? So yeah, that is what I wanted to rant about. So I'm probably going to name this video when you see it. You'll probably see the title below. It's Crisis on Infinite Earth Small Rant with Y next to it, because that's what goes through my head. But those are basically the 5, probably now 7 reasons that I have a problem with Crisis on Earth. Not a huge problem. I'm still enjoying it. It's just, it's making my head hurt on some level. So just had to put that out there. But hey, I want to know what you guys think. Are you checking out the show? Do you have problems? Do you agree with anything that I said? Are you just like, oh, you're crazy? Let me know in the comments below. And also, if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know who's next on the nerd ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys. And if you have time, don't forget to check out some of these other videos.